Welcome to the Folger Shakespeare Library. I'm Greg Prickman, Eric Weinman Librarian and Director of Collections, and I'm here with Melissa Cook, Head of Acquisitions. And we would like to invite you to Acquisitions Night 2019. We're here in the beautiful Pastor Reading Room, which will once again be the location for Acquisitions Night. And what we would like to do right now is to give you a preview of some of the things that you can see when you join us at Acquisitions Night. Okay, so let's start with this piece here. Looks a little bit plain and ordinary on the outside, but it's actually a pretty cool piece. A film script for a version of A Midsummer Night's Dream. This version was directed by Max Reinhardt, and the music was composed by
Felix Mendelssohn.
All right.
We've also got the signature of a Mr. Murphy who worked on this film, and this would have been his copy of this film script, although everyone on set would have had this final version.
And do we know who this Mr. Murphy was? What his role was?
No, we don't yet.
Well, if anyone out there wants to help us figure out who Mr. Murphy was, Midsummer Night's Dream, go ahead. We would appreciate it. Okay, well, this is a beautiful piece. What are we looking at here?
This is a beautiful binding, luxury binding from the golden age of English bookbinding, which is the time after Charles II comes into power.
So the Restoration period, we see this return to this very opulent style. Metal furniture has survived on all the corners, and this gorgeous leatherwork.
The leatherwork is laid over top of, they make the designs first, and then you've got all these different individual cutouts of leatherwork that are of colored leather that are put inside.
That's really spectacular, but another really cool thing about this is that it has an interesting association because we actually think we know who this binder was.
This binding is attributed to the naval binder. That is someone who operated out of Cambridge. Samuel Pepys had a lot of his books in his Cambridge library bound by this binder as well.
And with his involvement with the Navy, this binder is doing work for them, so it makes sense that he's commissioning this type of binding. So this is very similar to the kinds of bindings you would find on some of Samuel Pepys's books.
This is his local guy.
Wow, that's really cool. Well, the outside of it is spectacular, as you can see, but it turns out that that's not the only interesting thing about it. We're going to show you the inside of this book as well. This is actually a Bible. Why is that important for the Folger collection?
For the Folger, it's really important. Mr. Folger and Mrs. Folger were not big collectors of Bibles themselves. Mm-hmm. And so one of the things that we try to do in the collection development group is to find Bibles that we don't have copies of already and add so that we've got those texts available.
It's a great acquisition for the Folger, and it's a great acquisition to be adopted on Acquisitions Night.
It's ready.
Here we have two items. It's actually one piece for the auction, and this is material with a lot of interesting connections to the Folger collection. So what are we looking at here?
This is one of my favorite things in the whole night. This is so cool. We have Paul Robeson, a picture of Paul Robeson in his famous role as Othello on Broadway. He was the first black actor to play Othello on Broadway. An amazing actor and a fabulous musician also. This other piece is occurring 2 weeks after he finishes his role on Broadway. He comes back to his concert tours that he had been giving before, and he gives a concert in New York City. And this is a program from that evening, which, since you can see the hole punches in it, somebody has added it to a scrapbook or album that they kept of his.
Wow. So these are actually pretty closely associated since this happened so soon after he was in this role. And we have, from this production, the costume designs with fabric samples representing this costume that he's wearing.
We also have a silver gelatin print of him in this role by Carl Van Vechten, the American photographer.
Wow.
We also have the original contract for the show.
No kidding.
Signed by Robeson and the director of the show as well.
That's amazing. So these pieces, again, add additional depth and interest to this material that people are using all the time. In this case, we have a signature on it, which is just this great survival. You know, you can just kind of imagine him signing that out quick on an image that, probably came from a magazine or something, of him in the play. Captures that moment in time with the other kinds of work that he was doing. And if you're a fan, this is a great item to pick up on acquisitions night? Well, this is all pretty great stuff, and it's going to be really exciting to see all the other things that are going to be out on acquisitions night.
We were going to show one more thing.
That's right. Yeah, why don't you go get it? This one, though, comes with a problem. And I mean, it actually comes with a problem, which I'm going to read to you. If a family consisting of 7 persons drink out 2 kilderkins, that's a measure of about 18 gallons, of beer in 12 days, how many kilderkins will there be drunk out in 8 days by another family consisting of 28 persons? It would really help if we had an answer to this question. So if you can bring an answer to this question to acquisitions night, you could be eligible for a prize. So let's see what we can come up with for that. Well, wow, that's an interesting, let's take a look and see what this is.